Ta-da! We're live! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us this evening, this is Singapore Media Academy reporting live from Scape. We're doing a Facebook Live session tonight. If you joined us 2 weeks ago, that's probably because you were interested in one of our diploma programs in audio engineering. But tonight, we're doing something similar, but we're going to cast a spotlight on social media marketing and online content creation. This is a specialist diploma. If you have been notified about tonight's session, then chances are my team has already contacted you. We've had communications, and tonight we're going to present you with some interesting content, but led by 4 gentlemen. All right. We're going to have 2 interview sessions tonight, but before we go into that, right, I will share a little bit more information about who we are and what this whole specialist diploma is about. Now, if I haven't introduced myself to you, my name is Lucas, and I'm with Singapore Media Academy. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit more about the latest social media trends, as well as some interesting insights from 3 of our trainers and alumnus. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit more about Singapore Media Academy. Now, we are commonly known as a training arm of MediaCorp. We do quite a bit in education, consultancy, and training for people from all walks of life, from media professionals to non-media professionals, people within the traditional media industries and outside of that. Now, to understand more about what we do, you can always tune in to our Facebook account or our official account, Singapore Media Academy. Tonight, if you want to know more about what we do, you can also tune in to diploma.mediaacademy.sg. You can PM us with questions. You can also write us at marketing@mediaacademy.sg. And of course, tonight is made possible by Scape. For those of you who don't know where Scape is, it's really in the heart of Orchard Road. It has been the heartbeat of youth culture in Singapore, where thousands of young people are engaged. Chances are, if you walk into this venue, you'll probably find someone who is having a head of hair that's not black in color because they're all dancing, they're all doing some hip hop, and doing something fun. And tonight we're in this little room called Arena, where we are hosting these live sessions. So our first interview tonight, we're joined by 2 very amazing gentlemen. All right. First and foremost, our first interview is going to focus on what social media marketing is all about. Now, I think all of us have some level of sensing about social media. All right. We do a lot in terms of posting our lives, pictures, food that we eat, but we don't really look at some of the inner workings of what makes social media marketing attractive and powerful, and something that will work for you, in terms of your livelihood. So tonight, with our 2 trainers, all right, they are existing practitioners, all right, because this curriculum is brought to you by people who are active practitioners, all right, which means they know their stuff, all right. Allow me to introduce 2 gentlemen. Let's start with my right. I have Mr. Azhar bin Azid, all right. Some really big names I'm going to use. He is a data architect by training. He is a data-driven marketer and a transformation specialist by practice. Some big words there, Azhar. I'm going to leave you to tell the audience more about what you do in a moment. And of course, to my left, we have Mr. Adrian Chai. Adrian is the general manager of Media Freaks Group, an award-winning digital media company focusing on digital marketing, e-commerce, and animation products and services. So tonight, I have a lot of expertise here. I've got my pen and paper. I'm all ready to take down notes in case I can use something useful. But you know what? Let's go on something that's very personal to us at this moment. All right? Social media marketing. I think a lot of people are tuning into their phones now. They're using e-commerce for all sorts of reasons. All right? We've seen people going to panic buying. We've seen people doing online shopping. My question is it particularly vibrant now? And I'm going to direct that question to Adrian first, all right? Because you manage a lot of brands, right? And I want to understand, is this the great time for e-commerce?
Yeah. I think whether this is a good time for e-commerce really depends on what you are selling. But that said, right, generally I think for social media marketing, the most important thing, objective behind this is really to drive ROI. And I think what makes it so prevalent now, and everybody's talking about it, is because you really can measure the ROI. So if you put in $100, you can really, through certain techniques and all that, you can actually measure and measure the returns. I think that's what makes it so prevalent now. It's measurable, it's trackable, and it's justifiable.
Amazing. And in the early days of social media, what is that ROI actually measurable?
Not so. So I think back when Facebook and all that first started, everybody really was just focusing on how many likes and how many shares and how many comments you can get. I think we have gone beyond that. And today, if you speak to maybe 9 out of 10 brands, actually the question when they say is, okay, you want us to invest $10 this month on social media marketing, like how much can I get back? What is the ROI? So the whole conversation and the whole approach has evolved, which I think is a good thing. Yeah.
Okay, so audience, you've heard that likes and shares are no longer just sole indications of whether a brand marketing campaign is successful online. Obviously, there's more behind that, and there's more behind what makes a campaign successful. On that same note, I'm going to direct some questions to Azhar as well. Azhar, and in case you don't know, Azhar is one of the first few trainers you'll always see when we run the Specialist Diploma program, for a very good reason, all right? So I'm going to direct a question to you first, Azhar. What do you teach in this program?
By the name of the program, at the end of the day, once you get involved, it's very much about content creation and social media marketing. So the whole idea is, before you get too carried away, module 1, which is what I do, is actually about business planning. So basically, the first module talks about business planning, business strategy, and it also gives you an idea that basically, as much as you like social media, marketing is more than just social media. So we talk about the whole marketing process, left to right. We talk about the fact that social media for commercial use is quite different for social media for personal use. It requires a lot of structure, it requires strategy. Most people who join the class are doing it because there is a business problem to be solved. I mean, there are a few people who join it because it's a hobbyist, but for most people, there's a business intent. So which means you need to understand basics of business strategy, you need to understand basics of marketing strategy, marketing planning. So I think that's module 1. And then that fundamental takes you through. So by the time you get to the part where you're building content and building social media presence and everything else, you've got fundamentals, and you need to be able to basically integrate that social media component to the rest of your marketing mix. I think that's the difference. So it is a business management module. It is not as exciting as having to make a video, but I think it puts the right fundamentals in place.
No, I agree with that, and this is something very pertinent, right? It's really about purpose, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Adrian, something to add?
No.
Yeah, it's really about purpose,
yes.
right? Because you could have something in mind about a great product
right.
or a great service, or you're trying to brand yourself. But what is it exactly you're trying to tell the world, right? Is really what you're trying to tell
Exactly.
students. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So again, some of the fundamentals we teach them is, at the end of the day, it's all about the customer or the audience. So yes, media is great, but the media has to match the audience, the problem the audience is trying to solve, and then I guess the situation in which the audience is in. So in some cases, social media may not be the best approach, but as a social media marketer, you need to know that, because again, you can't get the ROI if you are using the wrong channel for the wrong purpose. So I think hopefully that is the foundation we set you up for with the first module, and then once you go down the path, you understand how to best use the channel when it's appropriate, but you also know when it's not. You shouldn't be forcing it.
That's true. So if you're going to be in Azhar's class, pay very close attention, all right? Because if you don't do that right, all right, it all crumbles, right? You need to start from a good strategy, right? Going to writing, and then making online content, and then just tracking, and then IP monetization. So it's a full works, right? This diploma takes you from concept to creation, right?
Yep.
So Azhar, on that note, all right, we want to also understand, right? What is your day job like? Yeah, what is a day in the life of a data architect?
Okay, so I run a management consulting practice right now. We specialize in basically business transformation. Right now, it's the hot thing. Everybody talks about it. The Smart Nation initiative, but business transformation is not something new. I mean, I've been doing this for like 30 years, and when I started, there were already people doing it. And in a simple sense, a lot of business transformation starts with getting organizations to be smart about data. So, which means it's not a thing. It's how you do things. So basically, companies need to understand that there is value in data. So which means you've got to start from the whole culture of how do I collect? You can be explicitly asking people, or you could be collecting through design of transactions, design of interactions, right down to, okay, now that I've got all this information, data, whatever you call it, how do I do insighting? So now there's analysis. So whether it's social media analytics or transaction analytics, at the end of the day, you've got information now that tells you if this part of the business is working or there's a better way to do something else. So this is what I do. I work with organizations, depending on their maturity. In some organizations, just collecting and making sure that the data is in a good shape to work is the challenge. Others, they've got lots of data, it is in amazing, it's ready to use, but they've never actually used it before. So now you're looking for potential to apply data into business planning, business management, optimization, building new business models. So we do a lot of work actually with startups. So basically we help startups think about growth, think about scaling up. We help them figure out how they could become part of the ecosystem of bigger organizations. Because they have this agility. A lot of startups have got very smart people, but they lack, I guess, the business depth. So this is what we do with them.
I like that you mentioned business depth, and we'll come back to that in a moment. For the audience who just joined us, tonight we have a course preview on Facebook Live from Singapore Media Academy. Tonight we're going to talk about social media marketing and online content creation. We have a Specialist Diploma program that runs across 10 months on a part-time basis. So if you're interested to find out more, hear from the experts. We've got 3 trainers tonight, 1 alumnus, 2 interview sessions. Our next question is going to be directed to Adrian, all right? The business depth that Azhar just spoke about, and the analytics, right? Some of these words resonate with you because you and your team are collectively trainers for 3 of our modules, right? Which is very pertinent to that whole concept of understanding what is the ROI, right? So that depth and that understanding is crucial. But for most people who just understand social media as I post, people like it, and people share, that is success to them, right? Beyond that, right, what is this depth that we are talking about?
So the ultimate goal is to drive ROI, right? So we will define the objective, and a lot of times social media marketing or digital marketing is just part of the bigger business strategy, like how Azhar put it. But so when you know the goal already, the end goal, I think it's important that you have the skills to execute that. So I think so maybe it's like what we do, right, as a digital marketer or social media marketer. So the number 1 job is really to understand the objective first. So we know what the client wants to achieve. After that, generally there's these 3 set of skills that we need to acquire in order to be a competent digital marketer. I always stress these 3 set of skills. The first set is really all the techniques, right? People talk about Instagram marketing, Facebook marketing, Twitter marketing, and all that. So that techniques part of it is very, very important, and that will be taught through one of the modules. But there's the other side of it that's very, very crucial, which is content creation. Because you need to have assets to market out. That's why the whole content creation segment is very, very crucial. So your ability to create video, graphics, or even copywriting and all that. Not that you need to become a video producer or a graphic designer, but having the basic fundamentals and being able to collaborate or communicate with graphic designers, video production people is very, very critical. So that's the second set of skills. And the third set of skills is actually analytics. So after you run all these campaigns and everything, like how do you analyze the data, get all the insights and put that into refining the campaign and all that. So the analytics side is very important. So all the techniques, the analytics and the content creation, in a way you need these 3 set of skills to be a competent digital marketer or social media marketer, and that's what we aim to achieve in the 3 modules that we are teaching. Yeah.
Very good. So it sounds like these are also closely intertwined, right?
It is.
And I'm sure there's a lot of hard science behind it, right? That sounds complicated on the onset, right? For someone who has no knowledge about this thing about search engine optimization, analytics, is it easy to pick up? That's the question.
Right. So maybe the question is like, if I'm signing up for this diploma, right? Do I need to prepare myself for it? How do I prepare myself for it?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. So do I need to read, get to study some online courses and all? Actually, not really. But I think you got to be interested in it. So if you find it a drag to turn on your phone every day and consume content on social media, if you don't enjoy it at all, you don't use Facebook or even Instagram so much, you are totally not into it, then I think it's very difficult for you to explore having a career in it or getting very involved in it. So I think that interest to consume content or even producing content on social media platform is important.
I think it sounds like, for someone who loves to cook, they must love to eat as well, right? I think that's a very simple analogy. Now, I noticed you use the words digital marketer, and then you also use the word social media marketer. How do we distinct the two? Are they the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very good question.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between digital marketing and social media marketing?
Yes.
I think social media marketing, in my humble opinion, is a subset of digital marketing. So while the diploma actually says that it's social media marketing, as part of the whole 3 module, we will actually be going even beyond that. So the participants actually will get to learn about the other aspects of digital marketing. For example, SEO, SEM, programmatic, or even LinkedIn and all that. So we will be touching on a few other platforms to ensure that after you graduate from this, you are more well-rounded and you have a better comprehension of the whole digital marketing industry. So actually, in terms of the curriculum, it goes beyond social media marketing.
Fantastic. So what Adrian is essentially saying is really an ecosystem, right? And so there's that breadth, but there's also that depth, really, right? As I'm going to throw the focus back to you, because again, in your teaching experience, right? And this is a question that's of our previous communications, all right? So I'm going to put you in a spot here, right? What were some of the interesting jobs that your students were holding?
Okay, so we have people from all walks of life, literally from retired management consultants to practicing marketers of various experience and seniorities. You have people who are looking for second careers, who want to start up businesses, people who want to become a marketer. We have property agents, we have insurance, we have medical practitioners. Literally, they come from all walks of life. I think the common denominator is wanting to learn and keep current with existing, trends and existing capabilities. So for most of them, just understanding what is happening online, what's happening on social media, but that seems to be in your face right now, and then being able to interact. Usually some of them start with interacting on a social sense, but after a while they figure that they want to do it professionally. We've had some interesting, we had a group of retired teachers in their 60s. These are the last people you would think that would be social media. I mean,
I would judge.
Yeah, but
okay.
And I teach the first module. Within a few hours, you find that these people are probably the most motivated to learn, and it's
Fantastic.
amazing the rate at which they are consuming new knowledge, the rate at which they are experimenting. And so you can imagine these are teachers. They are the content part. They are masters of that. So now they are learning a new channel to share learning, to share content. And between the 3 of them, I think there is a wealth of learning for the rest of the group, and even for trainers. It's very encouraging to see that actually people from all walks of life, there is no limit to learning capacity. As long as you are interested, as long as you are motivated by whatever, and you are willing to learn, I think the course works for you.
So the diversity is really
it is amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
So that means not everyone joins this course because they want to make money from this knowledge.
No. So you do occasionally get the 1 or 2 people who are literally hobbyists, and they're just here because I think I need to keep on learning, and then social media seems to be the good thing, and they're there just for the purpose of learning without any commercial or professional intention. And then you have the students who, of course, are sponsored by employers. So they've got a job. They're going to go back and actually show that they have performance improvements.
The ROI that you spoke about.
Yeah. So the 2 ends. You have those who are here just to learn for the sake of lifelong learning.
Yeah.
You have those who is part of a job.
Yeah.
And then there are the aspirational trainees.
Brilliant.
Who just want to do something better.
On the same note of students, were there any in your memory that stood out as outstanding students?
So like I mentioned, the retired teachers were interesting ones.
Okay.
We had a few people from public sector. We had people who,
Public sector, retired teachers,
Yes, retired
students.
teachers.
Yeah.
No, literally, you have people who are thinking of, or who just started a business.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
started
entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs
Yeah.
who just started businesses, one-man business or very small businesses,
Okay.
and you don't have a lot of media budget, so you try to figure out how do I scale, reach, without spending too much money.
Yeah.
So efficiency.
Okay.
And they started to realize that maybe there is something online and social media, but I need to figure out how to do this in a structured manner. And again, I teach module 1. That means we haven't got to the part where they build content yet. But within the first module, you can see the light bulb coming up. And these guys already, hey, I think I figured out this is how we should do it. And I figured out the right way to do it. I just figured out that, okay, social media for work is not the same as social media for personal use.
Yes.
If you do it that way, you will get into all sorts of trouble. So they figure it out themselves just through some of the exercises and group work and collaboration with peers.
That's actually something that is very close to Adrian's heart, because you spoke something a little bit about what you can do and what you cannot do, and it's true. Today, social media, either gets you in the right side of the public or on the wrong side, right? So there are some OB markers, right? That's what they call it, right? Our bound markers, things you should do and things you shouldn't do, right? Okay, I understand we've got a question, right, from a producer about funding, right? Yes, this Specialist Diploma is a Skills Future funded program for Singaporeans and PRs, all right? The baseline is up to 70%, so you only pay 30% of the course fees. There are other categories that you can avail more funding towards too. If you're Singaporean, 40 and above, all right, you can avail yourself up with 90% funding. For more information, stay in touch with our consultants. All right, we will share more information after this Facebook session. All right, you are also able to ask more questions. If you need to speak to us on the phone, please feel free to reach us as well. All right, or you can PM us and leave us your contact details and email or the mobile number. That would be great. All right, Adrian, all right, we still have time for maybe about 2 more questions before we go into the next interview session, before our guest trainer and the guest alumnus start to fall asleep. We're going to bring them on very shortly, but I think we want to just throw a few other questions, right? What are some of the employment prospects, right, as a social media marketer, or in this case, a digital marketer?
Yeah, I think when we talk about all these different employment prospects, maybe you look at the industry level. So actually the whole ecosystem offers a lot of employment opportunities. So all the way to the end users, you have your the private sectors and the government sectors. They are actually employing digital marketers, social media marketers. So the end user side, and of course you have your supplier side. So it's just it goes way beyond joining Facebook or joining Google. Actually, there's a lot of tools in the ecosystem. For example, Hootsuite, Social Bakers. There are many all these different analytic tools and all that. And many of these tools are the supporting companies, right? Supporting the whole ecosystem. They are also actually looking for digital marketers and social media marketers to join them. So actually, the whole ecosystem is the prospects a lot. And of course, another way is coming to my angle, right?
Yes.
The agency. So we're like a digital marketing agency, and I think not too bad. The options are all there, and it's really sometimes your cup of tea. But I think the last but not least is really being an entrepreneur. Yeah. So like in the most recent batch that I taught, there's someone who sells honey online. So he wanted to really grow the business. There's another guy, he's selling his children books, and he really wanted to grow the business further online. So they really wanted to know how social media can help them.
So diverse, the
Yeah, it's very diverse. Yeah.
And okay, now important question, and I know some of the participants and some of the live viewers now have this question on their minds, right? Entry-level salary for someone who is equipped with these skill sets, right? What are we looking at really?
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, when it comes to the starting salary and all that, a lot of people have that perception like, oh, maybe is it pay lower or higher? But I can actually safely assure our viewers and all that, actually the starting salary is comparable to other degrees, like marketing degree, accounting degree and all that. So it's not anything lesser or anything higher. But I would say that because social media marketing and digital marketing is very measurable because of the ROI.
Yes.
So it can get rewarding quicker.
I can some hesitation, and maybe Azhar knows why.
It can get more and more. It can get very, very rewarding.
Okay.
When you can actually achieve the results.
Yes.
Because ultimately you will realize that in the whole conversion funnel, at the end, a lot of clients are looking for leads, e-commerce sales and all that. So actually, when you can achieve that result, very performance driven, actually you can get very rewarding. But starting salary is very comparable.
Okay,
Yeah.
and would you say that the career pathway, right, can be charted in a measurable sense? So
Yes.
today you're an entry-level digital marketer, right? And then 5 years down, 10 years down, you could see yourself doing something more.
Yeah. So from a digital marketer, you become a senior digital marketer,
Yes.
manager, director role and all that. But more interestingly, is you can actually start to go into the different roles in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So you could start off as in the agency, then you could actually switch to being at the end user side.
Yes.
You could go to the supporting role,
Yes.
the platform side,
Okay.
or you could even become an entrepreneur yourself.
So depending on where you branch out in that sense.
your
okay.
interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that in terms of career progression?
Okay, if you take a step back, so I look at whether social media marketer or digital marketer, you're basically communicators. your communicators and your specialists in communications and engagement. If you look at the so-called digital economy right now, there's a huge gap in terms of storytelling. Which you have all of the guys. You have the guys with the numbers. Your data scientists, your data architect, all these guys. So there are complex stories to be told. You don't have people who are trained to tell stories. So there is a huge demand for communicators, which includes social media specialists, digital specialists, who can basically tell a story. Which you take insights from a data scientist, you take insights from market research, and now using your communication skills, using your expertise with choice of channels, using your expertise in terms of how do I storytell targeted to specific audience, specific needs, specific problems. Okay, that gap is huge, which means a motivated communication specialist, whether social media or digital marketing, you can place yourself in almost any industry, in any position, because someone needs to tell a story.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So this is huge,
I'm going to chime in here and sell Koyo because this is where Singapore Media Academy thrives, because we're backed by MediaCorp, who has been the greatest storyteller in this platform for the longest time. All right, and with Chen, what you're sharing is essentially, it reminds me of when you in a test, right? You have a box of words, all right, and these are the key words that analytics have brought up. Okay, you should use these words.
Yes.
But the thing is that you have to use these words and churn out a story, and everyone fares differently.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the creative part they're talking about,
Correct.
and it will segue very nicely into our next interview very shortly. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the considerations about social media marketing. You've heard some of the insights. You've heard some of the fun and interesting aspects of it. You've also heard about how students from different walks of life have joined our program, and some of them coming on for knowledge, some of them coming on for commercial reasons, and of course to try and do better for themselves in life. All right, and for that we have our trainers to thank for. All right, and for sharing tonight, we thank you again, Azza and Adrian. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't leave just yet. All right, we may have some off-camera interaction. All right, so have a seat. All right, enjoy a short break. All right, and if need be, we'll bring you back shortly. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you, Azza. Thank you very much. Audience, don't leave, all right, because if you just joined us, we are on our Facebook Live preview for one of our specialist diplomas, which is social media marketing and online content creation, all right? You've heard about the social media marketing aspect in our first interview, and you've heard about how important it is to understand the reasons behind why we are promoting a product, or why we're selling a service, or how we are branding ourselves. But that all segues into something which is great content, because you need great content to attract people, all right? And tonight, I'm very, very pleased to have two distinguished gentlemen to join us, all right? One of them is a mentor, the other is a graduate of this program, both equally exciting careers. They have the same last name, but they're not brothers, and they're connected by three words: online content creation. All right. First we have Ray. Ray, come on board. Where do you want to sit? Here. Okay, Ray. Ray is an award-winning filmmaker. All right. Yeah. 不要谦虚啊. All right. Both locally and internationally, he represented Singapore in the first WEA, which is World Event Young Artist. This was organized alongside the London 2012 Olympics, a global art and culture event held in Nottingham, UK. He has also been the recipient of 10 Outstanding Young Persons of the World. In 2012, this was a Singapore Merit Awardee by GCI TOYP. In my opinion, he's the top 10 outstanding individuals any day, all right? And he'll share more in a moment, all right? And of course, I'd like to bring aboard Lawrence. Please join us, Lawrence. Lawrence has a very interesting and exciting story to tell as well. I would call him a content producer and a micro-influencer. He found his true passion first in photography when he was just into his first year of work. And then he realized, you know what? That's it. I want to do this full time, right? So with his wife's support, he ventured out and he pursued his passion. 13 years on, he's now a professional, and he does photography, videography. He covers a wide genre of events, photography events, and he also has a very unique Facebook page that I'd like you to be a part of, and he'll share more in a moment, all right? So again, if you just join us, social media marketing and online content creation. This second interview is really about content, online content, all right? Ray, I'm going to start with you, all right? Okay. Just in 3 words, tell us who you are.
Wow, that's challenging.
Yes.
Wow, this is unscripted.
Unscripted.
That's why, a bit hang here.
Yeah. And Ray has busy schedules, and so I'm really,
we just conducted a session, so we came straight after. So mentally and it's a bit drained, but I'll try to do
If you can't
my
think
best.
through one here.
Yeah, or this is like a screwball right now.
Like if you could say 3 words to someone who hasn't met you, right, don't know you at all, what would you say for the person to get a sensing of who you are?
What, 3 words? This is difficult.
I'm putting a lot of pressure on him because this guy teaches storytelling as well.
yes. But suddenly you want me to be like a good copywriter.
Okay, you
on
think
the spot
you think
and
about
like
the 3 words, alright? I better be impressive.
Yes,
I'm gonna go to Lawrence first because Lawrence is also a mentee in this program. He's also a graduate of this Specialist Diploma in Social Media Marketing and Online Content Creation. Alright, and earlier in the first interview, we spoke a lot about purpose. Right? Some people are here because they want to pursue knowledge. Some people are here because they want to convert knowledge into skill sets that they can use. All right. So I think you belong to the second group. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Tell us a little bit about you before the course and after the course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say before the course, I'm someone who don't read any script, don't prepare anything. I don't prepare any scripts or whatever. So I'll just create content as everything inside my mind. Yeah, after the course, actually, I learned a lot, and I learned how to plan and do scripting and everything. Yeah, so now for my filming, it will be according to the plan. Yeah.
I know a lot of what you said just now
Yes.
is actually influenced by Ray in terms of his teachings, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Ray obviously has had a huge influence in many people's production, right? Especially when he teaches his module making online content, right? And I think a lot of the viewers are also interested to understand, right? Does making online content mean I must have a DSLR?
No. The phone, your
Confirm.
mobile phone.
Double confirm.
Double
Triple
confirm.
confirm.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you have a mobile phone,
Yes.
actually it's good enough. Actually, I would say not say good enough, but it's actually really very good.
Actually, today's
Yes.
mobile phones can record in 8K, right?
Yes.
Yeah, highest resolution, right?
Yeah.
And it's getting better, right? Yeah. I mean, you can attest to that because you teach people
Yes.
how to use their mobile phone to shoot, edit, and post, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is mobile technology today? How far is it from the good old days of DSLR?
Okay, so today we actually conducted a photo and a video session and workshop, right? So a lot of times I tell participants that sometimes a DSLR cannot achieve like HDR. Some DSLR couldn't. So even our mobile phones, you can take like HDR photos. So even recently I did a video with a DSLR compared to a mobile phone. The mobile phone, I don't want to endorse any brand. The visuals came out better in terms of color because sometimes you need to think about putting color grading, a lot of post-process to it. But in today's very fast-paced online space and so crowded and so noisy, you do want to be fast-paced enough to catch up, to being relevant. You see, so today is not about trying to polish up a great, very polished content to go out, but speed and scale is important at the same time.
Yes.
Because churning out enough content. So mobile videography, mobile filmmaking is very fast. You can commute from location A to B and you can start editing stuff and you can sync. So I think this is a lot staying relevant and competitive in today's online space, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of things that the mobile has a lot of the AI in it that can help you do a lot of amazing stuff. Like even like some trying to export different formats, the square formats, the portrait formats, the landscape format. So all this can be done on your mobile phones. And I have edited a 4K video on my mobile phone.
Really, you have?
Yes,
Okay.
and I exported a 4K video. And a lot of times even, the students from SMA, from this module, actually create videos and short films. People can't tell whether it's made by the mobile phone or even a professional phone.
And the mobile phone is so intuitive, right?
Professional camera.
Yeah, professional camera. And the mobile phone is so intuitive, right? Touch buttons,
Yeah.
and then you can explore the different modes for different purposes. And the best part is, it is tiny, it is light, so you can squeeze, in tight spaces where
Yes.
traditionally a DSLR can't,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Let's go back to the topic of online content creation.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people will think, I've got social media accounts, I post pictures about my life, I post pictures about the products that I sell.
Yep.
But what is really content when we talk about online content creation?
Okay, so my module focused a lot on the storytelling aspect of things. I mean, you can, debate and agree that content can be a lot of things, can be article, can be podcast, can be video format, can be pictures, a lot of things. All these are considered content and assets, right? But ultimately, all this you need a storytelling to tell a story, like visual storytelling. A photo have a story within it. It's not just a nice looking, enticing photo, but what's this theme behind this photo, So I think throughout the module, I kind of grind the students, It's not about the technical stuff. It's not how polished you go. It's really ultimately the context, the content, subtext, and ultimately what's the call to action. What do you want your audience at the end of the day when the video ends, when they look at the picture? What's the reaction you want from them? Emotions. You see, like, okay, once I finish this 30 seconds or 90 seconds video, I feel, wow, this is great, I need this. So if this is the exact reaction you want from them, then reverse mechanic, how can we make them feel this way? So give an example, how do you make someone feel in love again? Just by throwing this randomly, and this randomly came out. How to make someone feel in love again? So then let's work backwards. Maybe you're promoting something that's in line with maybe Valentine's Day, maybe just over, you see. So all these are things that I kind of give perspective to students. Not just because I really don't want them to chase equipments and gears, because every few months there's going to be a new product coming out. It's an endless game.
It's an endless race, right? You get the latest, right?
Yes,
Period.
yes.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because a lot of us are very obsessed about getting the latest, right? So that it seems to me that there's that good equipment will generate good content, right?
Not true. No, not true.
Oh wow! You see, two experts debunk that, right? So what are the common myths about producing online content? What are some of the things that are what people think might be, but are actually not true? Lawrence, maybe you start with you.
I would say creating content, you must really, don't think, do it. Yeah, if you keep thinking of, okay, I need this equipment, I need that equipment, then after a while, I tell you, you will stop. You won't ever create any content.
Like paralyzed,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, I can't get anywhere.
Take your mobile phone, go out, shoot something, and edit it.
Yeah.
Put together, and it's a content. Definitely it's a content. It's whether is it good content or the bad content, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you produce content, you share it, and get feedback, and come back, do again.
Because sometimes you never know, right? Some of the
Yes.
things you captured can be very useful in the
Yes.
whole storytelling, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I do agree with Ray as well. You need to have that purpose. You need to understand what you are trying to get the audience to feel, right? Because if it's something really touching, it's almost like you can feel the tingles going up your neck, up to the brain, and then you feel like tears are rolling down, and you produce something really, really good, right?
Yes.
And you had some of these productions in the past. What was some of the secret share with our audience?
I think one thing about this module is that I share everything. Sometimes I share the insights that I shouldn't be sharing, some of the trade secrets. Because ultimately, even if I share all my trade secrets, if you don't practice it, if you don't apply it, it will never be useful. So I think this is something that I'm very selfless in sharing, because I think educators like myself and Adrian and Azhar, I think the purpose of why we are training and we're practitioners is because we enjoy sharing our knowledge. Because when we share, it's a refresher thing for us as well, become better. Because by the time I learn a new thing, so I like to get myself and my hands dirty. So it's like, although I directed commercials, telemovies or dramas or short films, different kind of projects, but I get myself recently, like last year, I tried vlogging as well. You can't preach and teach things that you don't try, right? So I tried vlogging and I realized that, hey, on the surface it looks easy, but when you really try it, oh wow, you realize that there are things that it's like, how do you feel comfortable with a camera?
It's true. I've seen some of those that you do while driving, right? Then you're like, should I look at the camera? Should I look at my rear view camera?
Yes. So to add on what Lawrence had mentioned, if you don't make mistakes, you never grow, you never learn. So I think by enrolling to this my module, I'm actually kind of very, strict on things, because ultimately you want to come in here to learn something, and I make sure you walk away with at least 60 to 80% of the knowledge that I will impart. Unless you're just procrastinating and not trying to practice and then I can't help.
Okay.
Because ultimately a lot have to come from you. If you come in and just thinking that okay, everything you'll be spoon fed to me, then please don't come. I think you need to have enough discipline and enough drive to learn a new skill set. If not, it's pretty difficult. Even any courses you go, or even online courses. I think one thing I want to talk about online courses and comparing to courses that Singapore Media Academy conducts, is that we are in person. It's easier for us.
It's very hands-on, right?
Hands-on,
yes.
We get intimate, not intimate in that way lah, but any question you can ask. Sometimes online still feels like there's this barrier. But of course, I'm not denying online courses doesn't work. It works as well. But you're getting really very custom feedbacks from me because every project is different. Because
it's very instantaneous, right?
Yeah, because right now we're conducting a session, right? And all of them will come up with a creative concept. I think one of my strengths as a trainer is that I can actually help to see what is wrong. And I always ask questions. I teach you the what, but you need to understand why you're doing it, how you're doing it. That's important. See, so I think that's the important part about this module, I feel.
Brilliant. Before we go on to the next question, for viewers who just joined us, all right, we're talking about making online content as part of the entire Specialist Diploma, Social Media Marketing and Making Online Content. And we have Ray, who is a distinguished filmmaker and resident trainer of Singapore Media Academy. And we have Lawrence seated to my left or to your right from your screen. And he is an alumnus of this program and also a professional photographer and videographer. And I'm going to go into a little bit more about what he does, all right, for a living in a while. But question for both of you, right? You are content producers, but what type of content appeal to both of you? Let's start with you, Lawrence.
For me, I do a lot more on YouTube videos. So it can be, it's my YouTube videos all on my kids. So about parenting, usually I'll bring my kids out and then I'll shoot them, I'll film them, and then we come back, edit, and then post on YouTube to share.
Wait.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to tell me is that people actually pay you, and by extension that your children, all right, to do a feature of the attractions or of the place that they've been to.
Okay,
tell us more.
To be very frank, we started off like four years back.
Yes.
So starting we were not paid. Till I attended courses in SMA,
Yeah.
I learned tricks from Ray, I learned tricks from Adrian.
Skills. Not tricks.
Yeah.
Skills.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Adrian taught you how to monetize, right? And Azhar too. Okay. Yeah.
That's the thing that we start to earn a little bit.
Okay. It started from there.
Yes.
All right, and then gradually you got invited to take on bigger projects.
Yes.
And a lot of your content, I've seen your website as well, right? And I know that many of these content is actually short snippets. They're
Yes.
like 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you use a variety of mobile technology, sometimes GoPro even, right? Just to feature your children experiencing something.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
and that's content, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So are people generally attracted to something like that in order to be convinced? Yeah, that's a place I want to go. But that's a place I should bring my kids. Yeah. How do you make it so good that I want to bring my child there? Yeah.
I wouldn't say that my video is fantastic or it's really good to make people want to go, but I try my best because when my kids are in the video, I will ask them to do how should I put it? That means I'll let them enjoy.
Unscripted, right? Unrehearsed, right?
Yes.
Totally, right? So you capture their real emotions, it's enjoying themselves, doing something, being in the thick of action, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's content in a very real sense, right?
Yes.
It's on the go. It's very emergent,
Yes.
right? You have an idea. Okay, I want to take them to A, B, C, D, but then you can't curate.
Yes.
Like, okay, boy, you must smile here now. You better smile there, right? When we do this, right?
Sometimes things happen very fast, so
Yes.
we can't curate.
That's true. So you have to take
Yeah.
all that content and then
Yes.
decide which would be great for a
Yes.
short 30-second, 1 minute clip. Okay, and what type of content appeals to you, Ray? What are the things you like to do?
Before touching on me, right, I would like just to do a shout out for Lawrence because I'm also one of his fans. I watch him, subscribe to his channel. His channel is Three Willing Thoughts. Please help him out. He needs to gain some following at this right moment. So it's like three. It's like
Numeric
three,
right? Three willing thoughts.
WHEEL
ING
willing
TOTS
thoughts. Because I'm also a parent. We're a 5-year-old boy.
Likewise.
So yes. So I need to watch content because I've seen Lawrence content. Such as he had this video about the Nerf. What is it? A Nerf playground, right?
Yes.
What Nerf does.
Yeah, Nerf guns, right? Okay.
I didn't know that Singapore have such a place. It's only after viewing contents and videos from Lawrence YouTube
So
channel.
gratifying. If I feel upset at work, that's a place I want to go to.
And what is the upcoming events?
Yeah.
I'll be always having this notification from the YouTube. So it's only when you subscribe you get a notification. Every time he uploads a video, you get it.
Yes.
So sometimes people don't understand. It's I just search and find. Just subscribe and then get notification. I think I just want to say that Lawrence is doing
Thank you for
a
saying that.
brilliant
Yeah,
job.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so humbling, right? He's the teacher, and he's the student, but yet, this interaction expression, it's timeless, right? It transcends boundaries, right? Because it's not about just teaching, right?
Yeah.
As you teach, as you impart knowledge, you learn a lot on the way too, right?
I have
Would
to
you
say,
agree?
I never
Yeah.
see myself as like their teacher or like their mentors. I do see that, I'm just sharing knowledge, because there are a lot of things we help each other and we learn from each other. So that's one thing that, we're selfless when we're sharing. So coming back, to that question, I'm sorry to bully each other. It's not that, I'm just being genuine, okay? I think ultimately, if you're going to go through my module, I'm as real as I can get. I'm very honest. So sometimes I might accidentally offend people if I'm trying to be honest, but you need constructive, real criticism to get better. Coming back, like what kind of content do I produce? I previously mentioned I've done telemovies to short films to dramas to commercials. I like to say myself like I'm more like an artist and I can be commercial as well. Today someone asked me this question, so Ray, what's your style? I said being a director and a commercial director, you need to be able to adapt to different style. And then on top of that, but the true style is actually I'm more of an artist. I'm pretty I like to do something that can kind of inspire people.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
And we watched some of your works, alright? So you want to know more about Ray and his works, I'm sure you can Google that up, alright? But I'm going to ask a question that, I tasked Azza and Adrian earlier, alright? And which is, really about salaries, right? People need to make a living, and some people join the course really because they're intending to be content producers, right?
Yeah.
Can you make a decent living from being a content producer? That is the question.
Okay, in the past I would say someone wants to come to, because I taught from different institutions and now I give adult training with Singapore Media Academy. In the past I said, please don't be a filmmaker, don't be a content creator. In the past, because it's kind of struggling. But right now it's a different ball game. Everyone needs a video, everyone needs a photo, everyone needs so much content and assets to promote their businesses or even self-branding. So this is an exciting time to be a content creator. At the beginning, it might be a little bit tough, but once you get yourself to a certain position where, for example, Lawrence, you have a certain skill set and you have certain portfolios, that's when, B2B is actually pretty lucrative. If you, you have to justify whether it's going to be a very big job or a smaller job. And again, profit margin depends as well. So if you ask me, you can earn a decent living as a freelancer. Today is the freelancer world right now.
Okay.
A lot of just a real reality facts and checks here. A lot of companies are hiring ex-production people in their team as full-timers. We have creative agency hiring production people to be part of the creative agency. The landscape of all this creative industry has changed and shifted.
So, if I hear correctly, content
Yes.
producers can be engaged almost anywhere.
Yes, no
Okay.
longer just strictly with production company. Agencies are hiring production people as well. So yes, it's very exciting.
Brilliant. We'll come to you in a moment. Lawrence, all right? One final advice, all right, for people who want to produce content like you
Yes.
do, all right? What would you say to them?
I would say you need to have the interest. Interest is very important. For me, before I sleep 30 minutes, I'll watch content on my mobile phone. When I wake up, I'll watch content for 30 minutes before I get out of bed. So definitely you need to have the interest.
You need to live and breathe
Yes.
content, right?
Yes.
To produce content, right? Yeah, okay, great. And Ray, what about you? Any advice for the viewers out there and potential students to be?
You have fun. You definitely have fun. Trust me, because what's the best to just create content, and especially filmmaking, right? Just a piece of advice: come in the right attitude to want to learn and dare to make mistakes. It's only by doing that then you have a very steep learning curve. A lot I would say initiative. So yeah, come and have fun. At the same time, learn an important skill set that is very relevant in today's time. You can learn a lot of different skill sets, but I think that, look at so much giants competing with each other with content. Everyone wants to be part of a content game right now. So this might be the important time to be in this space. If not,
Yes.
maybe if you wait a little bit longer, you might be falling behind people. So I think this is the time.
Well, you heard that, so stay ahead of the game. And if you want to know more about the Specialist Diploma in Social Media Marketing and Online Content Creation, do PM us, leave us a message, or you can find out more details at diploma.mediaacademy.sg. You can also email us at marketing@mediaacademy.sg. And finally, just a big shout out to all of our trainers here today. Adrian, of course, Azhar, thank you very much. All right, Ray, of course, and of course Lawrence. All right, the four gentlemen who made precious time to be with us here today at Scape. And again, another shout out to Scape for being venue sponsors for this event. This is a great, vibrant place to be, and lots of F&B dining outlets here as well. So if you're looking for a quiet place in town and to meet people young at heart, please come here. We also want to thank MediaFrix for coordinating this, and to all our partners and friends, thank you very much. All right, I'm Lucas from Singapore Media Academy. If you have more questions, stay in touch with us. All right. Again, this is a funded program. All right, Singaporeans and PRs, don't hesitate. Ask us more questions. Keep those questions coming. Keep those emails coming. Keep those mobile numbers coming. All right. We want you to be part of this exciting journey. All right. So stay tuned for the next course review. Until then, I'm Lucas signing off from Singapore Media Academy. Thank you.